why starvation diets just don't work. This is something that we are very passionate about teaching people. So many people confuse brief periods of intensity for actual progress. And the reality is, a lot of people can be intense for a few weeks, but what's the use in that if it is so psychologically draining and fatiguing that you cannot stick to it, you end up breaking, and you get stuck in this loop of where you're trying to diet really, really hard, making some progress, and then you eventually break. Maybe you binge eat, you overeat, put weight back on, and then you go right back to it because you feel bad. That is not a way to produce sustainable change. Now, there are some people, few people, who can do very low calorie diets for periods of time and who don't regress. And that's fine. If it's sustainable for you, that's fine. But for the vast majority of people, that is very hard to work into a lifestyle. And what I tell people is the diet you're on, the way you are dieting, if you cannot foresee yourself maintaining that a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year into the future, you have to rethink what you're doing because eventually you are going to regress back to what you did before. You have to make a lifestyle change that you can be consistent with. Because at the end of the day, there are studies to show that regardless of what kind of diet you do, they're all effective simply based on how adherent you are. Most diets are equally terrible in terms of long-term results, but when they stratify different diets by adherence, regardless of diet type, what they find is a linear effect of adherence on results. That means any diet can work, and the diet that's best for you is going to be the diet that you can consistently stick to. So that is why Carbon Diet Coach doesn't pigeonhole you into any one way of dieting. We give you a bunch of different options, and even within those options, you can kind of change the numbers a little bit to be more in line with what your preferences are in terms of meal number, in terms of distribution of carbohydrates and fats. You can do vegan, you can do low carb, you can do low fat, you can do ketogenic, you can do balanced. We give a lot of different options because we recognize that there is not one diet that works for everyone in terms of being easier to adhere to. And so we want to give you the maximum flexibility to choose something that you can consistently stick to. If you guys are interested, make sure you click the link in my bio and download and subscribe today.